Both of these have an annual calendar complication. Both of these have a sunburst blue dial. One has a moon phase complication, and the other displays a second time zone. One is in white gold, and the other is in steel and white gold. Which one would you rather have? The answer is the Patek Philippe 5205, and I'll talk about why. And the second question is, does this replace the Rolex Sky Dweller? And the answer is no, it's good to have both. Starting with the packaging, you can see the size difference right away. The Rolex in its traditional beige cardboard outer box, and the Patek Philippe in its traditional brown cardboard outer box. The Patek Philippe cardboard is of a higher quality. It feels heavier and sturdier, and it has a fine texture to it, and the outside has a more ornate design. And here's the real difference between the presentation boxes. The Patek Philippe has a beautiful, heavy, polished wood box with a latch closure on front, and it stands on 4 feet, and it produces a slight incline to get a better view of the watch, and there's a beautiful logo on top. I don't mind that the Rolex box is smaller, it takes up less storage space, but it's covered in this plasticky feeling leather, and it just doesn't feel premium. I think Rolex really needs to step up its game and redesign this box. Inside the box is the white hang tag and the green hang tag, and there's a compartment in the back to store the instructional booklet, the warranty card, and a small booklet describing the factory services. The registry information is sent electronically to Rolex, and the watch information is stored electronically on this card, and printed on it are the model, the serial number, and the date of purchase. It no longer has your name or the dealer's name. The inside of the Patek box is more minimal. There's no hidden compartments, just a slot for the watch, and inside is one hang tag, and then there's a tool to adjust and set the watch. The plush material lining the case is a slightly lighter shade of beige, and it feels softer than the Rolex box and more padded and a more luxurious feeling to it. And just comparing the cushions, I think even here the Patek has higher quality. The surface of the cushion just feels softer to the touch, and it has better padding. There's a slot in the middle, which I don't know what that's for. If you know, please let me know in the comments. The warranty paper and the instructional booklet are stored in a different compartment in the outer box. It comes in this beautiful leather padded folder, and the warranty papers has your name printed on it, along with your address, the authorized dealer, and the date of purchase. But the watch is not registered at the store. You have to do this yourself online and put in the correct information and send it to Patek Philippe. By the way, here's the free travel case I got from the AD as a gift during the purchase, and I forgot to show this during my first unboxing video. But this is a really nice quality leather travel case, and it gives a good protection, and the inside cushion can actually snap out of the case. Setting the watch is a totally different experience between the Rolex and the Patek. For the Rolex, everything is controlled through the ring command bezel and the screw-out crown, and it's the Genius system. Everything can be done on the fly with no tools required. So to start out, make sure the ring command bezel is turned all the way to the right, and then unscrew the crown, and in position 1 you can wind the watch, and in position 2 it doesn't do anything. And turning the bezel 1 position to the left, you can use the crown to adjust the date, and if you need to adjust the month, you can scroll further, and the month is indicated by that red dot at the end of the hour indices. And turning the bezel all the way to the left position, you can use the crown to set the GMT time, which is indicated on that inner ring. And lastly, turning the bezel 1 position to the right, it will set the local time by jumping the hour hand. For the Patek Philippe 5205, the time is set by using the crown, and the rest of the complications are set by using these 4 push pieces on the sides of the case. So you need to use that included tool to push in on the sides. First of all, you have to set the time to 6 o'clock to avoid any damage to the movement. And then using the push piece on the bottom right, that will set the date. And the push piece on the top right will set the month. And the push piece on the top left will correct the day of the week. And finally, the piece on the bottom left will adjust the moon phase dial. And you need to look up on the Patek Philippe website the correct position of the dial according to the date. And for the subdial, there's nothing else to set for that. It has a 24-hour indicator, so it tells you if it's AM or PM, and that's connected to the watch as you set the time. So the winner for setting the watch is clearly the Rolex. It's an ingenious system designed by the engineers, and it removes any need for pushers on the side, and it can be done on the fly. It's all controlled by the bezel and the crown, and it's easy to use once you learn how to use it. But the system on the Patek is just too cumbersome. You always need to have that tool on hand just to make any adjustments to the complications. The dimensions and weight are another big difference. According to my measurements, the Sky Dweller has a diameter of 42.68 millimeters, lug to lug of 50.3, and a height of 14 millimeters. The Patek 5905 has a diameter, according to my measurements, of 39.14 millimeters, a height of 11.36, and a lug to lug of 49 millimeters. And the weight of the Rolex I'm getting at 165 grams. And the weight of the Patek is at 91 grams. And on my 6.5-inch wrist, the Sky Dweller does feel comfortable with the Jubilee bracelet, but it is still too large for my wrist, and it also feels slightly top heavy. The Patek 5205 has a much more appropriate size to my wrist, and it feels comfortable and it feels lightweight on the wrist. It feels noticeably thinner than the Sky Dweller and does not feel top heavy at all. Here's a side profile showing just how much thicker the Sky Dweller is compared to the 5205. So there's just a short comparison between the Patek experience and the Rolex experience. Which watch do you prefer, and would you keep both of these?